You know something, Corey? It's funny that you actually stopped by here. You want to know why? Because I've been really thinking about something. You want to know something? It's really funny. I've been home now since August 24th of 2006. You know something? It's been tough. I'm not going to kid you. You understand? You know, people think my life's very easy, think it's simple. You know, it's very tough to be free. After being locked up for so long, this is why, like, I understand guys that, you know, you do 2, 3 years. I did that in the toilet. That's nothing. You understand? When you got 5 and 10 and 20 years in, and then you come home, it's a whole different ball game. Everything's different. It's not like it used to be. You know what's funny? People tell me I'm caught 20 years behind the times. And you want to know what? I'm starting to understand why they say what they say. Because, you know, back in the day when I was away, everything was easy. I said, at first, when I first got there, you had to learn your ropes. But as long as you stuck with your own people and you did what you were supposed to do, there was no problems. You understand? They told you when to eat. They told you when to go to chow. They told you when to go to the yard. They told you you go to medical. Actually, I was in the best health in there. You know why? I worked out every day. I had the best medical doctors. They always used to take me for physicals and checkups. I always used to get blood work. My dentist, oh, my teeth are beautiful. You know, you always went to a dentist. You had everything in there. And here's the biggest part. You learn brotherhoods. You know what I mean? Like me, I hung with my own, even though I'm 3/4 Italian and 1/4 Irish. I hung out with mostly my Italian friends because in majority in jails, very little Irish, a lot of Italian. The rest is black, Spanish, Dominican, Chinese. You know, you have your varieties. So I basically hung out with the Italians. So I learned brotherhoods. And you stayed with your brotherhood. And you want to know something funny? Life was very easy. You understand? I knew that on Wednesdays, I knew at 7 o'clock in the morning, you get up, you go to chow. You had yourself a little coffee, you sat, you bullshitted with the guys, and then you went about your programs for the day. You got paid 45 cents a day to either go to lawns and grounds or, you worked in shop or you worked in the kitchen or you worked in the yard. Me, I was a porter. I liked being a porter. And then I liked lawns and grounds in the summer and a porter in the winter. Porter in the winter because up where I was, I started off with 6 to 12 in the state. So I wound up in like Wyoming Correctional Facility up in Attica, New York, different types of facilities up by Attica, up by Clinton Correctional Facility, all around, the upstate area. So in the winter it's very, very cold, you know. But they improvise. You go to state shop, you get your tailoring done. They give you 7 sets of clothes, 7 sets of underwear, 7 sets of shirts, 7 sets of this. And God forbid something rips or gets too dirty, you go back to the state shop, turn in your old, and you get brand new. You know, when you come home, it's a big difference, especially when they just give you $45 in a bus ticket and they say, oh no, we're going to send you to social services and they're going to get you in back to work programs and they're going to get you this and they're going to get you that. And then you come home and a big depression sits in. What the depression is, you learn the reals of life, that nobody gives a shit. You understand? They promise you all these dreams and they're spending all these thousands and thousands of dollars on your recidivism rate. You know what's funny? They talk about, they have all these special doctors and all these psychiatrists talking about the recidivism rate. The recidivism rate, you don't know what the recidivism is unless you were in jail. You have to be in jail to know what it was like to be in jail. To know what it's like to be suffering, to be sick, to be in pain, to not know what a Christmas, an Easter, a Thanksgiving, a birthday, to not be invited to special parties. You know what's funny? We made like our own special things, and this is where, something, you either learned how to get along and you were a happy-go-lucky guy, or you were one of these guys that hated the industry and you wound up spending most of your time in solitary confinement. Me, I hung out with the old timers because I had a lot of time to do. So they told me, you know what, Tone? Nobody likes to be with an unhappy guy. So no matter how unhappy you were, I learned how to be happy. You know why I learned how to be happy? Because it's either be happy or be by yourself. And let me tell you something. Being locked up is terrible, but being alone is worse. You know something? Then finally, as you're coming down to your end of your bid, you're so happy, you're so joyful that you're coming home. Huh? After 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, you're coming home. You're coming home to what? You understand? It's all an illusion. Your counselors, you get a counselor while you're in there that tells you, oh no, we're going to set up programs for you and we're going to get you on social services and we're going to get you this and we're going to do that and we're going to do this. You want to know something? Hand in all these cards and all this paperwork. You meet a parole officer that tells you, listen, between me and you, you're going to go to a city shelter and you have to be there from 5:30 in the morning till 7 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock at night, you have to return and you have to stay there. If not, if you don't show up at your shelter or you don't follow the rules, you'll be violated. So from the minute you get home, they're trying to send you back to jail. You understand? They say if you get a dirty urine or you have any police contact, you'll be violated. If you do this, you'll be violated. If you do that, you'll be violated. Me, I told them the truth. I'll be honest with you. A city shelter? You ever been in a city shelter? You ever see what a city shelter looks like these days? It's worse than Rikers Island. There's more drug use and more needles and more bullshit and more disease going on and more robberies and stabbings in city shelters than there is in Rikers Island. You understand? I'm not going to live there. I chose to go live in Bronx Park East. And they told me, oh no, you can't. You have to be in a secured environment. And I said, well then you might as well put the cuffs on me right now. My parole officer was like, what? Yeah, that's right. You keep threatening you'll be violated for this, you'll be violated. I'll tell you what, cuff me. Let's go back to prison. That's how I felt when I first came home. And you know why I felt like that? Because truthfully, I felt free when I was in jail. I had 1,700 friends. I had, forget about it. I had, in there, remember, if you have 20 cans of Jack Mac and 10 cans of tobacco and you have 7 shirts and all your stuff and everything's all situated nice, you feel like you have the world because you have everything you need. You understand? There's nothing you really want for it, except maybe a woman. But you know what? After time goes on, you learn how to self-satisfy yourself. And you know something? A woman's not really even that important anymore. I says, and I'm home now since 2006. It's 2018. So you figure I'm home about 12 years now. Sometimes I'm very grateful for the store that I built. And I'll tell you, this was hell building this store. But that's another story. I'll tell you about that. You understand? When I first came home, I went, instead of going to the shelter, I lived on Bronx Park East. And everybody that was homeless, everyone that was down on the luck was my friends. It was like prison all over again. And then one day I woke up on that bench and I said, you know something? I'm going to go get a job. And I went all around trying to work as a day laborer. And nobody wanted to help me because they remembered the bad guy I used to be. And I'll never forget, I'll tell you, I was in this store one day. And I said to the guy, I came in here for 2 months now, and I see a sign outside that says help wanted. And you keep telling me you don't need help. I said, back in the day, I would have pulled out my pistol and stuck your fucking ass up. I want a job. And I'm screaming and yelling in this guy's place. And the owner comes out, and he's like, hey. He's like, what's going on here? I said, I've been coming in here for 2 months. I'm trying to change my life. I just came home from prison last week. I'm living in Bronx Park East, and I want to change my life. I keep asking this guy for help, and this guy keeps turning me down. And guy says, you want to work? I said, yeah. He says, all right, come here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. He takes me in the back. Ben, I got to call you right back. I'm in the middle of a video.
Let me ask you. So what's easier, being on the outside or being on the inside? Being a free man or being an inmate?
You know something, Corey? That question you just asked me, whoosh. I gotta really ask you. I gotta really think about it. And I'm gonna tell you why. See, on the inside, you don't get none of these. Okay? You don't get this on the inside. This is a termination letter from Con Edison that says they're gonna shut my lights off in my store. Now, what the hell would I do in this store with no lights? You understand? What do I just work in the daytime? But you know what? You know what I say to myself? Tell them, look where you came from. You came from a park bench, and you have a store now, and you did it all by yourself. You understand? But before I get to that story, getting back to when the guy gave me a shot in the auto body shop, he took me in the back and he showed me this big pile of junk. And I was in good shape. I just came home from prison. I was able to bench 320 pounds. I was a monster. I used to jog 5 miles a day. That's what I'm saying. In prison, all this time you got to do, you work out, you get together with the guys, you understand? You kept yourself in shape, the doctors, everything. You took vitamins, no stress. You know what? Here's the biggest part. No stress. You know, Con Ed bills don't come in, gas bills don't come in, nobody tells you. And you want to know the truth? You earn 45 cents a day just to be there, even if you don't work. If you work, I made about $1.50 a day. You know what? At the end of the week, I had a little $12, $13 to go to the canteen with. And you were able to buy yourself some food, some bread, some peanut butter and jelly, some Jack Mac. So every once in a while, you were able to cook, and then you chip in with other guys, and you make these big meals. I got very lucky when I was away, you know. People liked me. I had a nice personality, and they liked my personality, I guess, or my happiness. So they adopted me. Come on, Tone, you with me? Don't worry, I'll spend a few dollars. You know, get this, get that. Every big time gangster wanted me to be their cellmate. Because everybody's in misery. Nobody wants to hear misery. People want to hear about good, happy, exciting, peaceful things, you know. And that's why I tell you, everyone says, why is this recidivism rate so high? My opinion, the recidivism rate so high because for prisoners and for people that are homeless or drug addicts or even mentally ill, you make it so hard to succeed. Here, now I'm a small-time business owner. I own Tony's Bargain Thrift Store, 512 East 187th Street in the Bronx. Okay? And you want to know something? I went to the assemblyman, I went to the councilman, and I said, listen, this is my business. I feed people, I help people. You know, if there's fires in the neighborhood, I go there with blankets. If people have children and they can't really afford to get them coats and whatnot in the winter, I give it away. You know why? Because a lot of stuff in my store is community donated. So, you know, it's not like I buy it to where I have to say, oh, no, I have to make my money back. I say, you know what? That person's just doing just as bad as I am, so let me give this to them. Because that's what your Bible tells you to do. And, you know, you go to these higher-ups, and you ask them for help, and they tell you, oh, no, we don't have any money to fund you. We don't have any money to do this. We don't have any money to do that. Then you watch the news and you hear people like Mayor de Blasio and all these. You know, I don't want to assassinate anybody, but you know, you hear all these big time politicians talking all this crap about how they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to help the homeless, and they show you all these people laying in the street. And you know what? Where the fuck is the help? They're gonna shut my lights off. I shut my lights off. And I went all around. I even went to the bank. And you want to know something? Here, look, New York Times did a story about me. Look on it one time. I'll go on Google, look up YouTube, look up New York Times, Tony Bargains. But we'll get to that. You want to know something? When I say where's the help, you know, I even went to the bank and I said, listen, you know, I'm a small-time business owner. I want to take out a loan for my business. And it's not even, you don't have to give me the money. Nobody's asking for me to have the money. Yeah, I want to run to a casino. I want to build my business better. I want to buy more things. I want to be able to help more people, you know, and do this and that. You know, I look at a place like Pods. It's down the block on 3rd Avenue. And like I said, I don't assassinate no other programs. I'm proud of that program. They got a beautiful program. But I also, when I walked in a joint, okay, because they have lawyers, they have doctors, they have all kinds of things to help all these people. When I walked in the joint, it says, this place is dedicated from the New York Yankees who gave $200,000 in support of this corporation. You understand? That's why you have what you have. New York Yankees gave you $200,000. Nobody gave Tony Bargains anything. You understand? Only one that gave to me, and this is why I wish thanks, peace, and love to my community. I'm a community-funded program whose been helped by this community. I mean, people all day long drop off, their old shoes, their old pants, their old clothes, their old jackets, and they even bring food here because, like, on Easter, on Christmas. See, I don't have any family, that'd be another story that I would have to get into, but I don't have any family. Basically, the world is my family. The sick and suffering is my family. The drug addicts are my family. The people that are in despair, the people that are down on luck, and even the people that are doing great in life. You understand? I'm for people. You understand? And you know what? The people are basically for me because a lot of people help me. But you know what's funny? I walk around like a friend of mine. He said to me the other day, he's like, Tone, you walk around every day, you laughing, joking, telling stories. You really going through all this turmoil? And I tell him, yeah. I says, you want to know something? Nobody wants to know anybody that's crying in their beer. You know what I mean? You don't want to hear. You got your own problems. You won't want to hear somebody else's problems. But don't think for 1 minute that Tony Bargains ain't got the same problems you have. You understand? And that's why I say, part of these videos that I'm doing, if you have that extra, nobody's asking, nobody's begging, but if you have that extra, if you have that extra 1 or 2, well, give me 1. You know why? Because I really need it. You understand? And it's not that I need it because I want to drive a big Mercedes with chrome wheels. I need it to help somebody else. You understand? And that's really the story. Getting back to the recidivism rate, if you look at everything that I said to you, you understand? You make jail so easy that when you finally do get back home, you say to yourself, you know what, fuck this, I'll just go back to jail because it was a lot easier back then. You understand? So you know what? I'm not saying that you should make jail tougher, but jail should be jail. You got rap videos, you got music, they have plays, you have organizations, you have all these prisoner rights bullshit. Let me tell you something. If you're out here murdering, robbing, and raping, you should be doing hard time. That's why in Arizona, you know something, there's a prison in Arizona that you put you in pink underwear and pink jumpsuits, and they make you do hard time. You gotta like break rocks and dig ditches and do all this stuff. And if you're not physically fit to do that, they just put you in a cell all day long. I mean, I'm not telling you exactly how it is because, I'm just giving you some summarization. You understand? But you know what? If you made prison harder, people wouldn't looking to go back there so much. And if you made it easier, see, I don't want it harder on prisoners. I want it easier on people to come home to be able to get ahead. If I come here from Yemen or from Africa or from China or whatever, if I come from somewhere else, I can get a loan, a grant, or this or that because there's no status of me. But if I tell you, well, yeah, I just got back from doing 20 years and I'm trying to get on my feet, so I'm looking to get a small business loan, you look at me like I got 9 heads. Oh, no, we're sorry. You don't have enough credit. You don't have enough points. You don't have enough this, enough that. And then when you do videos or ads to try and get people to help you, get all the con artists that call you and say, oh, no, I'm a lawyer. If you give me $500, I can get... Mister, if I had $500, I would pay this freaking light bill. You understand? And that's about it. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Tony Bargains, 512 East 187th Street, 10458. My phone number is 347-649-8518. If you feel the way I feel, you call Tony Bargains, because Tony Bargains cares. We got children's shoes. We got children's toys. We fill this community with so much joy. To be specific, Tony's store is terrific. I'm no phony. I'm just everyone's friend, Big Tony.